Hello everyone and welcome to the introduction video for the GameBlind. So this channel is kind of a conglomeration of an original project that I wanted to do, which was make a hunting-based podcast teaching from the very basics of hunting, of how to get the tags, permission for hunting land, this, that, and the third, everything that had to do with just the basics of hunting, to now this, which is going to be more of a animal deep dive. Now, I'm just some dude that really likes to learn. I like learning about animals. I've always been fascinated with the animals, and as such, I like to learn and teach about it. I'm also not a zoologist. I am just, like I said, some dude, and so I have no formal training on this. This is all just going to be research that I'm going to do and then present. And so yeah, I want to teach people about these animals that we hunt and some of the animals that maybe don't get talked about as much. You see a lot of videos on like lions and tigers and some bears, which we also will do two of those because there are lions and bears in these games. But you don't see a lot of things of like deer or elk, which are technically in the same family, which we will get into them further along in the series that we go. As such, I'll be doing research and then just presenting it with you guys, and hopefully in a very fun, humorous way. Part of this is to educate hunters as well. This may help some people understand how animals, or the animal species that they're going after, behaves or acts. Now I'm only going to be doing animals that are in this game, which is Way of the Hunter, just because it's a lot easier. Now if people really just want to learn more about animals, I might do more videos about different animals, and then I'll hunt the closest relative to it in the game. If you're interested in that, just let me know. But there's about 62 animals in this game alone that I need to get through, and then there's also Way of the Hunter 2, which I plan to get sometime soon, but I'll get to that here in a little bit. Some people may be wondering too, well, if you're a hunter and you still really like animals, how can those two things exist together? It's a respect thing. I respect the animals for what they are, for what they provide to the ecosystem, and I don't treat this as a glorified killing, as I feel some hunting shows and channels have made it, and those are not as prevalent anymore. I feel that respect is starting to come back, but because of how hunting has been depicted in a lot of movies and videos, I feel like it's been a very negative light, and I plan to hopefully paint a much better, more positive light on hunting and why people do it and how to do it ethically. Hunting is also a conservation effort. Some animal populations will just explode without the presence of some sort of predator or something above it that is helping keep the population in control. For example, the elks in Yellowstone had this happen to them because they didn't have many natural predators after the wolves' populations really plummeted, and so they started kind of wreaking havoc on the aspen ecosystem because there's nothing there to challenge them, nothing there to keep them in check. Hunting helps with some of that as well. And then I hunt primarily for food, and I say primarily because the big caveat I do have myself even is we're actually going to do something first, and we're going to go sleep and get back in the morning so we actually see some animals. The caveat that I'm talking about is my family does do trophy hunting, and to an extent. And what I mean, yeah, I know, crazy transition. What I mean by the extent is we were at a point where we were successfully hunting enough, not really caring about what we got, to the point that we just had a lot of meat. We didn't need more meat. Like I said, I'm not a fan of mindless killing. I'm not about to go out just to shoot a deer, or shoot an antelope, or whatever the case may be, just to shoot it. We are going to eat it, so we will hold out as long as we can into the later season for hopefully something that's bigger, eat through some more of that meat, and then have the space so that it's not just wasted. We won't shoot unless we know someone's going to eat that meat. I also, oh my goodness, what's up guys? How you guys doing? Good morning. Anyways, another reason that I'm making this is because I also want to help. I said I want to help clear up some of these misconceptions and myths and rumors and questions that people genuinely have about hunting from an outside perspective and even an inside perspective, someone that maybe is just getting into it. They're hearing a lot of conflicting things. There's a lot of information out there. Some of it's true, some of it's not. Some of it is preference-based, so keep that in mind when you are doing your research and what I'm saying, because a lot of this is my preference, because this is based on my personal experience. Some of it will be based on research, and a lot of it is based off my own personal experience. As the saying goes, there's many ways to skin a cat. I want to make them more focused, more script-based videos of the research, having those be very polished, very nice, and good for you guys, actually help you learn something. But I also want to do some Let's Plays, and that brings me back to Way the Hunter 2. I currently don't own that, and that's the gameplay that I'll be doing much more Let's Play style games on for hunting. And then if this channel, you know, depending what you guys want to see, how everything's going, I would like to branch out and do some other Let's Plays. I really enjoy playing linear stories, and so I'd like to do some Let's Plays of those style of games, but only people are interested, and if I do, I'll probably make a different channel, so that those of you who are wanting just to watch hunting-based content can keep just watching only hunting-based content, and not be mixing with something that you don't even really care about. My relationship with hunting goes back to when I was like a kindergartner or first grader. I can remember hunting with my dad out of a tree stand. I remember when he shot that deer out of the tree stand, it was kind of eye-opening to me as a kid, and it gave me a very healthy respect of hunting in general. And since then, I hunted as much as I could. Due to life, having to move away from my job, I haven't hunted to the same capacity that I've wanted to, but when I do go home, I do hunt the best that I can if it's in season. I hunt, like I said, for food. It's been a big part of my family. All of my family hunts. And then I just have a passion of the outdoors and hunting, just because of everything that I've seen while hunting, experienced while hunting. There's just so much. A lot of this, a lot of nothing I have seen while hunting as well. We're going to go to a different spot as well. What can you expect from this channel? Well, I really hope I make some entertaining videos. I hope they're not just bland, boring, nothing's going on type deal. They're just super dry. I do really want to make these entertaining. We're going to go back here so I'm actually going to sleep again and try and catch these animals moving so you guys aren't just bored out of your gourds. I hope to keep these funny, keep these entertaining, lighthearted. There might be some serious points, especially if we start talking about actual hunting, but that may be in a more podcasty style, because I do want to stress emphasis where emphasis needs to be stressed. I do plan to talk about some hunting stories, some personal experience, all my experiences hunting. And, sorry guys, I know I keep kind of bouncing around. We're actually going to go over here. I plan to put a lot of hunting stories, personal experiences, try and tie things together into a real-world application while playing this and talking about it, because I'll be talking about the animal, and then we're going to go hunt said animal in the game to the best of my ability. I also plan to post when I can. I say that because I don't know how or what my schedule is honestly going to look like. Realize I went the wrong way again. Just because of life and job, I don't know. I have other responsibilities I have to take care of. I am going to do my best to try and post at the very least on a monthly basis. I want to try doing bi-weekly. Not bi-weekly, that'd be kind of crazy. Maybe I said it correctly. Post every other week, every 2 weeks. Just so I can keep you guys entertained, keep you guys coming back. I don't want to just be dead. I actually do have a dead YouTube channel. I used to play a lot of Airsoft when I was younger. Oh, did I just run over? Oh, there's a lot of rabbits. I'm trying not to run over those. Whew. Like I said, I played a lot of Airsoft. I had a dead channel. It wasn't the greatest. And I want to come back from that. That's not what I'm trying to say. I want to just make a channel that is entertaining, is educational, and that people enjoy. Let's go try and knock out a quick hunt. We're gonna go back over here, so I don't want this just to be nothing. And while I hunt, I'll share the my first hunting experience. Like I said, I was hunting with my dad. We're hunting out of a tree stand back home in South Dakota. We're hunting whitetail. And my dad was telling me it was earlier in the evening. I thought it was all day, but as a kid, I guess anything that's longer than an hour feels like forever. So we were sitting in the stand, we hadn't seen really anything, and getting into that, which we have our deer over here. And perfect, these are our whitetails, and we're actually going to take him, because I am going to do a little bit of herd management. We were sitting in the stand, and we were waiting and waiting, and we had a buck come out. A buck is the male, and the doe is the female of a deer. So that is something that you'll hear me refer to often. Where's my little marker? Well, you know what? Do this as best that I can. 222. We sat in the stand, we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally, closer to... I don't remember reloading. Alright, maybe that's why it's giving me that. Closer to evening, we finally had a buck come out, smaller than this guy, which we're going to try and take. If he doesn't keep walking. A buck probably smaller than this guy walk out, and he walked right in front of the stand. My dad stood up, and I was super excited. I was a kid. Oh my gosh. Well, I guess we'll wait. I'll explain the rest of the story while I wait for him to stand back up, because I do not like shooting animals when they lie down. So he stands up, he gets the full draw, and I'm getting excited. I'm a kid, I'm waiting, I want to see this thing happen. And he shoots, and I watch the arrow go right under the deer. And that deer takes off, and I was pretty disappointed. I'm like, dang, really kind of just felt like we wasted a whole day almost. Though it was only probably, like I said, a couple hours. Well, what's nice about archery, we're going to see if there's another guy standing up. We don't want to shoot him, and we don't really want to shoot him. Oh, he stood back up. The beauty of archery is if... Oh, and he lay back down. If the animal has not had a lot of pressure on it, and it doesn't know about bows, and kind of what an arrow sounds like flying by, they'll just kind of pass it off as something weird, and they might come back, which is exactly what this deer did. So he swung around this grove of trees. He walked right back to where he was feeding. My dad drew back again, and this time did not miss. Went straight through. Remember, that's kind of when it all started. So I'm going to try and drop him right here. Success. I can't stand up, apparently. And yeah, since then, I've had an absolute love of hunting. And yeah, that's kind of that story. I really hope I get better at the storytelling, just everything. This is my first real attempt at this style of channel. And so yeah, we're gonna collect this guy, and I'll say the outro. That was probably one of the better shots that I've made in a while. I'll try and make a full video on shot placement. It looks like it was going to be vital organ or artery. And yeah, it went through the lung. But yeah, it was 67%. He was only probably going to be maybe a 3-star max. But yet again, we'll kind of get into that later. Thank you everyone so much for watching. This is my first video, so if you have any comments on what I should improve upon, what I should do next, what you would like to see, please leave them in the comment section, as well as any questions you have, and I'll do my best to getting around to answer those. Until next time, go touch some grass, and I'll see y'all in the next video.